I had never seen this movie. Obviously, I had heard about it. It was a lot of conversation about it that I heard in the background as a youngster. I started watching it, and I got to some of the scenes basically where Brooke Shields was not a little kid, but then started to do nude scenes. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. She looks way too young.
Yeah, she's 15 in here.
She was 14 filming this.
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap. Two different stunt doubles for her nude scenes that weren't hers. I have a lot to say about how disgusting this is because they should have never done that. Even though it wasn't her body, they were giving the fantasy.
It's implied. Yeah.
That this 14-year-old, then when the movie was released, 15, was nude in the movie.
Well,
couldn't believe it.
Not to mention,
I was blown away by that, frankly.
Well, I was kind of blown away too because they required both of them to be who were tanned, and they had to tan together. He's 19, and she's that age. They're fully naked, but they have a problem with her doing but they're both tanning nude together. I was like, wow.
Frankly, learning about her mom, I can't believe...
Her mom, Terry?
Yeah. I can't believe that Brooke Shields wasn't more messed up. I mean...
Her mom was something.
Wow. It's awful.
Yep.
I mean, Brooke Shields had her problems, but no, like, Amanda Bynes problems
it
wasn't right. I mean, there was definitely issues, but not near the significance. Lindsay Lohan, I mean, a lot of, we could keep going, but she kind of, did she start some of this Hollywood kid actress stuff? Like,
well,
what made her stronger than, you know what I mean? Like, I think
what made her strong. I think what made her stronger was the fact that she had a mom that was just all over her. I don't think Brooke could actually like go to the bathroom without her mom knowing.
Okay.
Everything was completely calculated. Her dates with Michael Jackson, her dates, her Hollywood dates, everything was calculated by the mom. The mom procured the deal for the Calvin Klein jeans.
Yeah.
Brooke took it to a whole new different level.
Well, her mom was stealing from her,
True.
All kinds of, but
Brooke loved her mom.
No, you're right, but the reality is reality. What made Brooke stronger, though, whereas some of these others, that's the psychology of it that I'd like to know. Because there's all these other kid actors and actresses that have been just demolished and destroyed.
Yeah, there's very few female actresses that I really admire that could be messed up but aren't. And Jodie Foster's like huge for me.
Yes.
Jodie went to Yale. I just love Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
Absolutely adore that woman. She is by far one of my, she is like my top actress. But yeah, considering that you hear all the time how kids are messed up, right down from Julie Garland to... Yeah, makes you wonder why she persevered.
Right. And that's what's interesting to me most of all. It's like, what's the psychology behind this? How did she do that?
Yeah.
Because she did her first nude scenes at 12.
Yeah.
As a child prostitute.
Yeah.
Can't remember the name
Wasn't
of the
it Pretty
movie
Baby?
now. That sounds familiar.
I believe it was Pretty Baby.
Yeah,
Yep.
I didn't put it in my notes. I was just researching some of this. I was like really turned off by it. Like watching the film and then researching it later beautiful scenes. Cinematography was fantastic in this. Underwater.
Absolutely.
For 1980, underwater scenes, it was unbelievably good, in my opinion.
I would agree.
The pans that they did, the editing, I mean, it was really good. But then you learn her age, and you learn, don't tell me that these sicko Hollywood people, and even people that would go see the film, did you see what it did? $60 million almost, domestically alone.
Worldwide.
What about the teenage boys that were buying a ticket to, whatever, and getting into this because they couldn't technically buy the ticket to see a naked teenage girl? What about that? I mean, I was just, whoa. I don't know. How did this see the light of day?
Well, I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, in today's day and age, this is nothing. I mean, this is actually nothing.
They're true that's true. However, they're actually of age, where she wasn't.
She wasn't, but, and I know there was a whole legal battle with that.
Oh, yeah. She went to Congress.
She went to Congress.
There was laws made.
Yeah, there was laws on that. She had to have her hair taped down or glued to her breast.
Yep.
You saw the silhouette of her. I mean, I think you saw more of the guy, Christopher Atkins, than you did her.
Oh, there's another unit. Oh, is that his unit or is it his stunt double's unit? His unit again. There's his unit.
There it is. So
this is why you picked it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Actually, because out of the choices, I was just kind of, honestly, it was because, okay, I've seen this, so this shouldn't be too bad to review. But
I was kind of excited to see it because I had not seen it. And
I am not a Christopher Atkins fan at all. There were a ton of people that did his role, and it came down to the last minute where it was up between him and Sean Penn. Yeah. Kind of wish they would have told Sean, but I was
maybe his unit wasn't up to size.
Yeah, maybe not. Wow. But I was like, I am not a fan of Christopher Atkins at all.
Yeah.
And he was another one that after it was all said and done, people wanted to employ him for movies that showed his body without a shirt or nude scenes.
Yeah, certainly
so he was typecasted.
Yeah, certainly they a lot of rear end shots. They wanted him for. I mean, apparently, I had read. I don't know if it's true, but I had read that they even wanted to have him model for rear end stuff.
Goes without saying.
I mean, so whatever.
I do like the fact. I don't the way the storyline goes. First of all, I don't feel that there was enough historical. There wasn't enough to get it rolling. There wasn't that historical background that you needed to. Now, I don't know about you and if you've actually seen his works, but William Daniels, I loved him in St. Elsewhere. He was the doctor, the big surgeon in St. Elsewhere. So I loved his work from there.
Sure.
And he did. He played Richard Restrain. Leo McKern was in there too, played Patty. Not a whole lot of emphasis on those roles, but I think those roles were kind of vital. I mean, Patty kind of helped raise them a little bit. The dad, Richard's dad, which is but they didn't get. There was just not enough background. Like, why were they in the? They were trying to get to San Francisco. I get that. But there wasn't enough historical background to feed this story.
Yeah, that her parents were dead.
Yeah, next thing I know, they're on an island.
Yeah.
And they're playing, two kids trying to play grown up.
Right. It was, and that's actually an interesting way. You gave it more plot than it actually had. I mean, the movie had no plot.
It had no plot.
I mean, there was just like nude scenes and beach scenes. I mean, it was, I guess, some sea life scenes, but there was just really no plot to it. It was very bizarre to me, especially the kind of like. I mean, they put this film up on a pedestal, and they rave about this. People like rave about this film. I'm like, it was gross to me, frankly. Like, you could see how young she was. And I was like, she can't be 18. She can't. I kept saying she can't be 18. And then started researching, because I literally knew nothing about this. I mean, other than Brooke Shields. I mean,
what I found was interesting when I was doing my research is that it got a lukewarm response in the United States, but it was very popular in Romania, Hungary, and Brazil. And I don't get it.
Right. No, I don't either. But it more what would be considered, I had read, I don't know if it was in my notes, but back at that time, what would be more considered, I guess, progressive societies, that it got a lot of traction. I think maybe, was it Norway or something? But I don't. Norway's rating, I believe, was a much lower, like PG rating or something like that, and so it was interesting to me that they.
And it was interesting.
United Kingdom, it did better. I had this. In New Zealand, it was New Zealand. It was yeah. So it was given. They changed it to a PG when it was released on VHS, so that it would get more sales, and it was also PG in Australia.
Okay. Yeah.
So
what I found was really interesting too, and he was back in the day. Every girl wanted to be with him. Was Matt Dillon.
Sure.
And he actually turned it down because of the nudity.
No kidding.
Yeah.
How old would Matt Dillon have been then?
Yeah, I was kind of wondering, because I remember, he was one of those boy actors. He was like with Little Darlings with Christy McNichol and Tatum O'Neal. So I want to say, he was probably maybe around that, I don't know, same age, 15, 16. I'm not completely sure, but he actually turned it down too.
So he's born in 1964. Okay. So in 1979 is when he started acting, it says here. So yeah, I mean, he wasn't, I mean, he would have barely been of age. Or no, he wasn't even 18.
Yeah, and he did not want to.
He would have not.
He did not want to do it because of the nudity scenes.
Yeah. Interesting.
And that's kind of interesting, because you look at some of Matt Dillon's stuff later.
Yeah, exactly.
Later on in the screen. And then I found what was really kind of interesting too, and I believe it. And I giggled when I read it, but that film was on Roger Ebert's most hated list.
Yeah, I read that too.
I thought that was
Makes
hilarious.
sense.
I mean,
you would think.
And back at the time, anything that you got bad from Gene Siskel and Robert Ebert, that was bad. I mean, that could make your...
Yeah, you didn't want that, for sure. Yeah, that's interesting.
They were the premier critics.
Yeah, they were the only.
At that, yes.
Other than Paper.
Yes.
I mean, they were the only critics.
They were the only ones. And I thought what was really interesting was because Brooke was 5'10", and Christopher...
I know.
was 5'6", so they had to dig trenches.
Yeah.
And she had to walk that way. I thought that was.
They do that
funny.
stuff for Tom Cruise still.
Yeah.
Because he's short. I know.
Funny.
He's 61 years old, and they still do that. He still has a complex about it.
He still has a complex, and it was so funny because Christopher Atkins is like, it was like being next to Sasquatch.
Yeah, sure.
That's kind of how he described her. Oh, God, nice.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have anything other than what I've already said about cinematography, that they really did do well. Cinematography was just really good. And editing was good. But I just don't have anything great to say about this. I hope I never see it again. I mean,
I concur.
Yeah, I was shocked.
I think
I really was. Like,
I think what was so funny for me was you have these two very, very small children, and they portray this movie where they've just adapted so well to beach living, but she doesn't realize she's got a baby coming out of her. I'm like, what? That's the kind of stuff I think about. Like, how could you not know? In the language and just.
Oh, right. Yeah, exactly.
You know,
that was one of
when
the
you
first
look
things.
at, or when you look at movies like Tarzan at Greystroke, you know, he was raised by monkeys, so he doesn't know anything.
Right.
But then you got these two little kids, and all of a sudden they're just boom, they're
Yeah.
learning everything. I
Yeah.
was like, wow.
Yeah,
really?
I know. And there's no way that if there was other inhabitants on the island, there is zero way that they would have not known. I mean, it wasn't that big of an island.
You know, and that tribe.
The tribe wasn't that far away. There's no way.
No.
I mean, maybe for weeks they wouldn't know, but not years
Not
and
years.
years.
No.
So, yeah, man, I don't know.
It was not, this movie was never my cup of tea when it first came out. I didn't understand what the hoopla was. It's hard to believe that it's gone on to produce quite a few more Blue Lagoons.
Yeah, I'm reading here too. I hadn't read this before. It was nominated for Best Academy Award for Best Cinematography.
And I will
Nominated
give
for
credit.
Golden Globe for New Star of the Year for Atkins. Shields got a Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Actress.
Worst
Makes
Actress.
sense.
Makes
I
sense.
didn't ever see that before. Yeah, disgusting. I was like, I really had no idea.
It was bad, and I think Brooke probably knew it as well. So she pretty much focused more on her modeling career,
Yeah.
and that took off for her. Now the stuff that she's in as an older,
Still a model,
she's still a model,
right? If I remember, she's still models.
She's still models. She still does like the QVC type
Sure.
furniture.
Okay.
You know, and then she did a movie for Netflix, the Christmas where she's in Scotland.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, so she still has her mark in the romance genre,
Sure.
making the Hallmark type.
Sure. Yeah. The good old Hallmark films. What else do you have, Sherry? Let's
Like
end
you.
this before.
Like you, I hope to never see it again. But there again, this is why we do it. You have not seen this movie.
No, right.
And it's a perspective.
It for sure is, and I think I would have had a completely different perspective had she been an actress of age. While it's massively splitting hairs saying that, well, it wasn't her actual nude body. Okay, but all the other things I've already said, and that she was a 14-year-old girl with an 18-year-old man that was nude. She was mostly nude with her hair taped. And she literally said, I have never seen I'll say unit. She literally said, she's quoted as saying, I've never seen a penis in my life, and I don't want to see one now. That's just...
Gotta tell you something.
It's wow.
It's pretty wild.
It really is. I'm
But-
glad those laws were changed. I'm glad that she went to Congress. That
I'm
they
glad the laws are
called her
changed
in.
too, but for the moving industry, what a click and bait to get that target audience. So the females for Christopher Atkins, the males are going to swarm to see her. You know, and if you look at some of her Calvin Klein ads, yeah, her body, the stunt double did a pretty good job mimicking her body out.
Absolutely.
Because that's how she looks. You
Yes,
know, she
absolutely.
rolled a pair of jeans, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Every woman wanted to be her.
Yeah.
Like, God, I wish I had a butt like that. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. But, got to give them credit, even as sick as it is, they really brought in an audience.
They did. And I'm not sure that's good.
I agree with you. Had she been of age, because I I can't get past this is like statutory rape type
Yeah,
stuff.
that's a great way to put it.
I can't get past that. That puts
I
a
can't
no-go. Like,
Yeah.
so I'll be honest, when the love scenes kind of came through, even though it was a double,
No, it wasn't a double though. When they were being like supposedly intimate, that was her.
Okay.
If
well,
she wasn't being, if her like breasts or her butt weren't being shown, it was her.
okay, I thought
She was
maybe it
kissing him
a-
and stuff.
Well, I knew she was kissing him,
And
but
yeah, while he was naked.
So I found myself just kind of sliding through those
Yeah,
because to me she's a baby.
Yeah, I was like
Yeah, I didn't
totally
know.
in shock. I really was totally in shock that she was that young.
I just kind of breezed right through. I'm like, I really don't need to see a 14-year-old.
No.
To me, it's statutory.
Massive turn off for me.
It's statutory rape on a public scale.
Yeah,
That's been deemed acceptable.
yeah.
To me, that's not
Yeah.
acceptable.
They're pulling. It's what's weird to me. They've pulled stuff off the, we'll call it shelf, for things much, much less severe than this. I mean, I won't get into it, but much less severe than this. And this is still easily accessible. It's still praised in a lot of circles.
It is.
And it's like, wait a minute here. That's what's very, very bizarre to me. I'm not saying that they should pull it off the shelves. That's not what I'm saying. But it is very, very odd, some of the things that they do, that people, well, that's offensive. And it's like, that's what's bizarre to me.
Well, that's what killed me about Tess. When we were
Yes.
doing Tess, some of that was, wow, that should not be
Yes.
be brought.
Yes.
But that movie is acclaimed. It just,
Well, what was worse, too, though, is that
cousin?
director...
the director,
Yeah,
Roman
yeah.
Polanski, I mean,
that
a
he
whole bad
literally,
vibe.
that he literally did that after he made the film.
And what, she's 17 in there too? I mean,
Yep.
it's just,
Yep.
wow.
Yep. Absolutely.
I guess that's not, this movie is not, this movie is not a wholesome type family
No.
thing.
No.
I don't feel it should have a claim even today.
No.
At
Absolutely.
all. I
I
just
agree.
don't. I just don't jive with this.
Yeah. I mean, you have just such a young. The thing is, it's a young female actress. I mean, that's what she was trying to do and all that, but she didn't know what was really going on. She didn't know the consequence and the level of it. How, and that's why, how can her mom sign off on
I
that?
was
That's
just
what I
gonna
just
say. 12 years old, and you're letting
And
your daughter
play a
do
prostitute.
But there again, too, in defense of one of my favorite actresses, Jodie Foster, also, Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, Taxi Driver. She's pretty young there too, playing a.
Oh, right. No, I mean, there's right for sure.
They had some controlling moms.
Yes, for sure.
The moms were driving this. The beauty of it is I love the fact that Jodie took it 20 degrees a different way.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
She's just amazing. There's
Yeah.
nothing that woman can't do, and I
1,000,000%.
just really love her.
Yeah, and True Detective. I haven't seen it, but is it really? Have you seen it?
Oh God,
Yeah, HBO, right? It's that good.
it's that good.
Okay,
It's
I'll have to
that
watch
good.
it.
And then I watched her in Naiad, and she
okay.
was fantastic. I mean, Annette Bening did a great job as Diana Naiad.
Yeah.
And Jodie Foster played her partner, their best friend. And you look at them, and they typecasted them beautifully.
Yeah.
And honestly, I really feel that Jodie should have won the Academy Award for it.
Okay.
But she did not.
Yeah.
So, but I have to give her a lot of credit. Going from a childhood actor all the way into where she's at now, going through all these going through all what I would be tragic moments in her life, you know, the killing of the president, trying to assassinate the president in her honor.
Right.
Geez, thanks.
Yeah, right.
You know.
Right.
And then happened to be quiet.
She didn't like the president anyway. But.
She did, but, you know, at the same time, you know, having Chapman do his thing, and then later on in life have to come out with who she really is, which she is married. You know, she is married. And I do. I mean, I agree that, you know, everybody should be happy, but I love the fact that she's just pulled her career.
And I feel like for
incredible.
the most part, not certainly completely, but she's done one of the better jobs of keeping her stance on things a little bit further away from her acting career,
from her Hollywood,
and that's, I think, commendable.
You don't see her sons ever. On a rare occasion, when you see her sons.
Yeah.
And you didn't see a whole bunch of her wife, but now that they did a film together, they did a documentary together. Now you see it more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, of course, with being on the red carpet, you're going to take your wife to the premiere. So, but she does a really good job keeping her private life private.
Yep. So.
And I admire that.
Yeah, for sure. Wrap us up.
Yes. I'm good that we're done.
Tell us what you think. Record a video and send it to us or something at LegitQ at MaddysMovieMix.com, and we thank you. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Hammer the share button. Go ahead and hammer out a comment to us. Go ahead and hammer the like button. Go ahead and hammer the subscription button. Go ahead and hammer the notification bells, because you know what? That's the best way you can support us. We appreciate it.